This episode of Talkin' About Rock is sponsored by Unleashed Music. Drawing on years of experience, contacts, and partnerships, Unleashed Music is uniquely positioned to platform, develop, and realize the vision of artists of all genres. Achieve your goals by partnering with Unleashed Music and take advantage of their decades of experience to help you create and execute your marketing campaign. Visit unleashedmusic.com for more info.
On this episode of Talking About Rock, Hywater. Talk About Rock is sponsored by School of Rock, North Buffalo, where they're making musicians every day. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Talking About Rock. I'm Rob Edwards. Here we bring you rock interviews from veteran and upcoming artists. Subscribe on our YouTube channel to stay up to date. Follow us on our social media and our website, talkingaboutrock.com. Today we have a band from Niagara Falls, New York, Hywater. The band boasts a modern meets vintage rock sound that draws inspiration from bands such as the Goo Goo Dolls, Gin Blossoms, and Soul Asylum. They released their first single, Up in the Air, worldwide to all the streaming platforms on July 21st, and the song gained a slot on the 2024 Grammy Ballot for Best Rock Performance. Joining us, we have Thomas Tedesco with us. We also have Connor Best and Dylan Howard with us as well from Hywater. How's it going, guys?
Good, Rob. How are you doing today?
Excellent, excellent. So you got to tell me, man, how did it feel when you heard, man, Up in the Air was on the ballot? That's amazing, guys.
I mean, it was a surreal feeling for sure. You know, we had been working, at it for a little while. That was just kind of coming off our rebrand. We used to go by a different name. We used to go under the name Tedesco Knows Best. So it was just a few months after we transitioned out of the Hywater name, and then Up in the Air was the song that we had decided to kind of launch that rebrand. So in many ways, Up in the Air was kind of like a kind of breath of fresh air for us. And I mean, it was a lot of work that went into, writing and recording that song. So it was just really like the culmination of a lot of things for us. And then in some other ways too, the beginning of a lot of other things as well. So
like a rebirth for you guys there in Niagara Falls, New York. Tell me a little bit about playing the area there. You played with some different artists in the area. We've got a lot of airplay going on, not only in Buffalo, but I also saw in Iowa as well. You guys are getting a lot of airplay.
Yeah, yes, that's true. And as Connor Best here is joining us now, fashionably late, better late than never. But
right.
But yeah, I mean, we've been working this area pretty well over about the past 3 years and change. I mean, we've done a lot of the places, in Niagara Falls and Buffalo. We've done the Evening Star Concert Hall a couple times, the hometown show, which we'll be returning to pretty soon, actually. We've done the Cave in Buffalo, and early on, as Tedesco Knows Best, we had an opportunity to open up for the Tubes at the Riviera Theater in North Tonawanda, and then last year as well, we opened up for the world-class Don Felder from the Eagles at Batavia Downs. And like you said, I mean, the Up in the Air has been played on quite a few radio stations across the country. We've really, again, just been working that song pretty heavily for the past year. So, I mean, through, a bunch of coordinated efforts, we've been, pretty much, in a lot of different places around the country, like you said, including Dubuque, Iowa, where they picked it up in rotation there. And then we've gotten some love here in our hometown as well. And WBNY, I want to give a shout out to them. They've been behind us since day one. And WBFO, the bridge here locally, too.
Yeah, definitely. So very hard in this neck of the woods, obviously, to get original music out. It seems like you guys have tapped into it, which is outstanding. Tell me a little bit about the rebranding. So you were originally going by Tedesco Knows Best. Was there a reason behind that or a philosophy that you wanted to go with this rebranding? I like the new name, really.
Thank you.
Really cool. It kind of stands out, but was there's something behind that, or did you just say, we want to start fresh, we want to do this a little different?
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it was. I mean, and Connor could speak to it too, because when him and I started the band, we were Tedesco Knows Best. We were a duo. It was just him and I. And, we, over the years, had gotten Dylan in the band. We got Collin Lacki, who is not with us here tonight. He's got commitments at school in Nashville, Tennessee. And then even now recently, Will has joined the fold. So kind of just as a reflection, to kind of symbolize, that we are a solidified unit of one band for now even sometimes five guys. And, not focusing in on any one particular member, would you say, Connor?
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Definitely. So tell me a little about the latest track you guys got, Up in the Air. We're going to take a listen to it here in a minute, but tell us a little bit about maybe putting that together, a little bit of background on that, how they came about.
Well, Connor, you started that.
Yeah, I started that when I was at your mom's house. We were just trying to come up with something. I started doing some kind of riff on what was it, like little Casio?
Yeah,
that you have downstairs.
I still have it actually.
Yeah, and those chords kind of hooked to it. Thomas and I wrote some lyrics, and then we had Collin come in for the rest of the lyrics.
Yeah, it was. I liken it in some ways, Rob, to, I don't know if you ever heard the story of how the song "Take It Easy" was written, that the Eagles did, of course. And the way that story went was that Jackson Browne had written most of the song, and that Glenn Frey had plugged in the last line of the song, "It's a Girl, My Lord," in a flatbed Ford, and finished the song. That kind of happened to us because, as Connor said, him and I had kind of started the song, had most of the lyrics done and in the can, and most of the song in the can. But we were just in need of like that one last line. So him and I were in my basement in Niagara Falls, and Collin was out of town at that time. And we called him up and we're like, "Hey man, like we, got this new song, we just need this one last line." We kind of had filled him into what we had at that point. And just kind of off the top of his head, he came up with the lyric, "Half full or half empty, the glass has been that way for a while." And then that was kind of it. And that pretty much, solidified the song. And after that, we kind of workshopped it for a while. We got Dylan in on it, those unmistakable drum fills, of course.
It's the best part of that song.
So and then it just kind of took life from there. And then when we went into the studio to record it, we recorded it with the very great RJ DeMarco, who is in a band, Buffalo-based band called Fernway. He produced This Way Up. And he kind of really further brought the song to life, putting on Dylan's big drums, making them sound huge, the guitars from Connor and myself. Collin's keyboards, and that's really when the song, I think, kind of became what it was just a mix of all those things.
Excellent. I really like the hook here. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll play the track here in the video for Up in the Air. We'll be back with the guys from Hywater here on Talking About Rock.
Who knows how
Okay, we're back here on Talk About Rock. Just checked out the track here from Hywater. Great stuff, man. So you guys followed up the release of Up in the Air. You got a debut EP you put out, This Way Up, December 22nd in 2023. Tell us about putting that together and how that felt to get that finally finished out there, right?
Right. Yeah. So as we were just talking about before, we had gotten into a studio, which unfortunately is now defunct, called Quiet Country Audio, which was based in Lancaster, New York, and worked with RJ DeMarco there. And these were songs that, a lot of them had gone back to the Tedesco and those best days, and songs that we had, kind of been working on quite a bit for maybe about a year or so. And then kind of through that process is when we kind of became Hywater. And really the title, Rob, is very indicative of kind of like where the band is at, because, it is a beginning for us, but at the same time, we want to continue to grow and progress from there. Hence the title, This Way Up. And, as we've said a couple of times before, when we got in there with RJ, he really did kind of reemphasize for us, like, you guys are a rock band. Like, let's get some electric guitars on this thing. Let's get some big drums on this thing. And it really was just kind of like another step in our artistic progression, really. That really did a lot for us. And it was a very cool experience.
Yeah, the production value, sounds great on it. Some great songs on there for sure. And you guys got a pretty big upcoming show here coming up at Ironworks. And you guys are, I think, opening for Kingdom Come, right?
That's right. Yeah. So that's a very cool opportunity for us. It's gonna be our first time playing at Buffalo Ironworks. But of course, with me and all the other guys here too, we all love 80s rock and hard rock and all that stuff. So I think it's a pretty good fit. We're definitely pumped and excited, and going to be rehearsing after we get off here.
Right? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, so guys like me, we've all been lucky to get a second taste of all the 80s music to come around again for us. We're really happy about that. We see the 90s kind of coming back at this point. It looks like a lot of bands getting together and kind of rebirth for some bands like Linkin Park coming out and lots of other things happening as well. Very, very cool. So if folks want to find out more about you guys, where should they check you out? On your socials or your site? Or
Yeah. So all our social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, they're all Hywater Band, Hywater Band, of course. And then we are going to be announcing a show too very, very soon, another hometown show to end the year at the Evening Star in Niagara Falls. So if you guys stay tuned to those channels, you'll find out about those. And our website, of course, is hywaterband.com.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being with us. I want to thank you and thank our sponsors, School of Rock North Buffalo and Unleash Music. And to all our listeners out there, we all hope that wherever you are, you support live music and help us keep the torch alive. Guys, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks for having us.